want to start? Let's start here.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't?
Yeah, no,
Actually,
I
it's
do, I do.
canceled. Um,
Episode canceled.
you know what? Let's say it already started. I was
Uh,
I was going back to our other two episodes and listening, and I realized in both episodes we talk about heroin in some way. In fact, like
yeah,
extraordinarily similar ways.
yep.
So I want to devote this one to being not heroin related. We're talking about non-heroin topics this episode, okay? I swear to God we are. Let's talk about meth this time or something,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Let's move on to a different drug that ruins your life. What are there? We've got
Bro.
meth. Meth and heroin I feel like are the big boy. No, we're not talking about it. We're not talking about we're not talking about that. Well, meth
I
is on my
mean,
mind right now because I started finally watching Breaking Bad. This is what I do.
oh
I'm like
yeah.
so late to things. Like I just don't care. Like I played like the original Doom. That's what I was really late for. Like the original Doom I played for the first time in like the fall semester last year.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
so I was a little late on that one, but like I don't really care about experiencing things during the hype phase, but I feel like Breaking
Mhm.
Bad that doesn't count for Breaking Bad because it got like a resurgence in like the meme community, I suppose. As cringy as
Yeah.
that sounds, but the reason really I started watching it is because they put it on Netflix, so it's like, oh well, might as well. Unless it's been on
Mhm.
Netflix for a really long time and I just didn't notice.
I
Which
think
is
it's been.
yeah, well that's fuck you. Um
Okay.
yeah.
Fuck you.
Um
Oh,
so I started watching that and I think I had a response to that show that no one else has probably ever had. I
oh, really?
think while I was watching it, I had the extremely unique response of looking at it, and no one's ever thought this when watching the show and thinking, I could probably do this. I could sell
Yeah.
meth. Can you imagine every like when did the first season come out? Whenever that was, like every like college like white male college student thinking like when your college career is ending and you're like, wait a second, I was supposed to have some kind of clear cut future and that's not happening. I don't have a job or anything. I'm a total loser. You watch
Yeah.
Breaking Bad and like all of them were like, this could work out. I could do this. It's that easy. It's that simple. I just find a chemist or whatever and we just go on the streets. The streets are dry, man. I'm equipped to handle that. Like I'm not
True.
saying I'm not some kind of like fucking middle-aged mom who's like, Breaking Bad should be illegal because it's inspiring people to sell drugs. I'm not like that, but I'm saying like, do you think that it's influenced anyone to do something stupid? Like, I'm not saying it's
Mm,
fault or that it glorifies it or anything, but like,
yeah. Probably.
there's gotta be at least one idiot who is like, I can do this. I can
I
make a
mean,
lot of
yeah.
money. Well, maybe
When
there's
I watched it like September of last year, and I was like thinking, I mean, this couldn't be that hard.
exactly. I mean, it crosses everyone's minds watching it.
Yeah,
I'm not saying
yeah,
I am literally saying it did cross my mind, and then I thought, wow, this is an extremely unoriginal thought that everyone has probably thought of, and I should talk about it on a podcast no one watches. That was the second thought that entered my brain.
yeah, yeah.
But maybe some people were successful with it. Like, wouldn't that be funny? They're
That'd
like,
be cool.
"Yo, how'd you get into this, man?" And it's like he's like, "That was that was a white woman talking, by the way." She's like, "Yo, Essay, how you get into this, man? Fool?" And he's like,
Yeah.
I started watching this show, Breaking Bad, and I just came out here and I just did it. I just got some meth. I just started selling it on the streets. I mean, I just haven't been shot yet. And the white passing woman is like, "Damn, fool, that's crazy," and like leaves. This is okay because I'm a
Yeah.
quarter Hispanic.
Oh.
What are the what are the percentages that Like what? Where's their leeway?
Yeah, like the
Like
limit.
half blacks are allowed to say the N word, right? But like, what about
Mm.
quarter blacks? I feel like it's a little iffy then. It's like, you can say the
Ooh.
first two letters.
Yeah.
You can get away with nit, but like, you gotta cut it off there. Like, let's be real.
Yeah.
Your grandma's black. What if they're quarter black, but the rest is Hispanic? I mean, you're looking at a pretty brown person,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and they're raised in the hood. Honestly, no matter the race, you can't really tell anyone who's raised in the hood that they can't say the N word. Like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Approach that person? This guy seems reasonable. This 78% white man who was raised in the hood seems like a reasonable guy. I need to tell him that. I need to explain him the history behind that word.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
looking. I'm looking at your profile picture of uh, what's his name, and I'm imagining him.
Joe Gatto.
Yeah, I'm imagining him walking around, hat backwards, sagging like jean shorts, saying the N word, and there's some like blue hair who's like, "This isn't right." Don't.
That's his punishment for being tonight's big loser.
That's his punishment. He has to sag and say the N word by blue hair. But he's allowed
Yeah.
to shoot her when she tells him to stop. That's the only
Yeah.
perk of it. I mean, I mean, that's I feel like I hate Twitter, but I feel like that's where it comes in handy is harboring those thoughts and opinions just for the safety
Mhm.
of people. Like I don't I it's not like I'm scared for the safety of a blue hair who would go up to that, like white person raised in the hood, white trash type person who's violent and unreasonable and a meth addict. I would rather
Mm.
the blue hair vent about that on Twitter than approach that man at like a 7-Eleven or something
Yeah.
because you know what I'm saying? Just because that just might not be the safest scenario for an 80-pound like blue hair woman.
Yeah.
Like, just
It
for
could
her safety, I feel like Twitter serves that purpose.
yeah, it's a little bit more unpredictable.
Yeah, talk about it here.
Yeah.
Anyways, so we're not talking about heroin. We did talk
Yeah,
about
no.
meth. Sorry. Sorry, viewers that exist. We talked about meth. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm thinking about buying a camper. I'm thinking
Oh,
about buying
really?
an RV and I'm thinking about driving it. That's the problem is we don't live in New Mexico. That's where it takes place,
True.
Breaking Bad, right? Like, where are we
Yeah.
gonna drive our RV?
I
Into a
mean,
lot in the suburbs that hasn't been built on yet? Like,
to a reserve.
yeah, I guess you're right. How are
I
we
don't
gonna get the
know.
trees out of the way to drive our RV in the middle of the Florida swamps? That would
Yeah.
be. I've totally reached rock bottom, and I've somehow convinced you to come on this meth venture with me. We chainsaw down a field of trees, so we're already like extremely noticed, and we
Yeah.
drive in the middle of the swamps, the marshes, and then we try to cook and fail, and like we inhale toxic gases and almost die, and then we go to try and leave. The RV's just stuck in the mud, and we're sitting there like, and we end up just
Yeah.
walking away. We're thousands of dollars in debt because of investing in this ridiculous meth venture. And now all we have done is cut down some trees and leave an evidence littered RV in the middle of the swamp so
Yeah.
the alligators can go inhale toxins.
Oh, yeah.
Well, maybe
Have you
we do.
seen the meth gators?
What?
Yeah, apparently, like, I'm pretty sure this is a real thing. Like, people were flushing meth down the toilet, and then like alligators were getting high off that,
Purposefully?
and they were just getting like violent.
That's horrifying. They're already
Yeah,
scary enough. Now we have these meth charged
yeah,
alligators. I hate
yeah.
that. Well, people
Oh,
cook
I
it
think
in
it's big in
toilets.
Tennessee. Yeah,
It's big in Tennessee. The meth gators are big in Tennessee.
The
Well, I'm glad
problem.
I don't
Yeah.
live in Tennessee. Remind me, Secretary, remind me never to live in Tennessee.
Yep.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
I'm glad that's not another thing on like the Florida man checklist. Like, you know that meme? It's like,
Yeah.
I'm glad we
Yeah.
don't also have. I'm glad it's not that list and then also meth gators. Oh, we just have regular gators. It's fine, guys.
It's okay.
It's okay. Now, what you have to worry about is Tennessee. That's where the bad thing is. A little bit
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
racism and a lot more meth.
Mhm.
They cook it in the toilet, I think. My dad used to.
Cook
He
meth.
used to. He used to cook meth in our toilet. No, he used to be a firefighter, and he said he went to a few fires where like they were cooking meth in the toilet and then something went
Uh,
wrong and it like exploded and the house lit on fire, which is a
damn.
fun way to go, you know.
Yeah.
Like imagine that in your obituary. I guess they don't have to put cause of death.
Yeah.
Well,
Could be
imagine your
sick
mom
though.
having to tell your aunt that or something.
Yeah.
Logan died. How did he go peacefully? Was it a freak accident? Not exactly. um he He had gone off the rails and he was cooking. He was cooking. Was it a kitchen accident? What happened? Well, he wasn't cooking food per se. He was in. He was cooking meth in the toilet, and he was too stupid to figure it out, and it exploded and murdered him. Oh, at least he died within the initial blast. It was quick and painless. No, it was a slow burn. The paramedics were vomiting when they found him. His skin was torn. Your aunt's just sitting there like, that'd be a rough Thanksgiving. The
Yeah.
Thanksgiving after they're in
Yeah.
that house, they can still like smell the burnt flesh and a little bit of meth seeping off
Yeah.
the walls as they
Then they'll
eat
eventually
turkey.
have to use the bathroom and then they'll just stare at the toilet for like
They're looking at the
20
brand
minutes.
new porcelain
Yeah.
toilet. They know why it's replaced. And everyone's
Yeah.
sitting there just munching on turkey to try to keep their mouths shut and not mention how someone in the room's son died because they couldn't figure out how to fucking cook meth and killed
Yeah.
themselves over it. A horrible, fiery death. Yeah, that'd be a rough Thanksgiving. By Christmas,
Yeah.
everyone's over it, but it would be a rough Thanksgiving, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah,
Everyone's
yeah, yeah.
over things by Christmas. That's why
That's
that's
true.
why not everyone kills themselves at Christmas.
Hmm.
Because it's like, oh, yeah, your mom killed your dad. It's a rough Thanksgiving. You're over it by Christmas, you know? It's like,
Yeah.
come on, get over yourself. Like, the reason is it's a defense mechanism of the human mind because you can't you can't afford because of the stressors of the holiday season. You can't afford to still be, how do I put that? You can't afford to have your dad killing your mom like brutally on your mind when you're having to deal with your aunt and uncle like arguing about politics, screaming at each other
Yeah.
across the Christmas Eve like dinner table. You can't have your dad choking your mom to death because you're too focused. So the human brain just pushes it out of your mind. You're like, let's get over this by Christmas. Thanksgiving will be rough. We can't think about your dad stabbing your mom over and over again because your aunt is yelling about Trump. It's like,
Yeah.
but some people don't have that defense mechanism, so they do end up offing themselves, and that's unfortunate. But I mean,
Mm.
it's really, you hate to say it's natural selection, but you know what? We're not talking about drugs anymore.
No,
You know what?
no.
Let's have a clean episode.
Yeah.
No drugs, no murder, no life failure. Let's be Jerry Seinfeld. Let's have clean comedy. Let's talk
Yeah.
about what even is clean comedy these days. I'm not like intellectual enough to even come up with a joke that doesn't have the word fuck in it, you know? Like clean comedy's kind of the skilled
Yeah.
comics now because it's kind of the easy way out to be like, so anyways, the heroin addicts. Like I'm being lazy right now.
I think it's just like clean comedies, pretty much basically just observations.
Oh yeah, just
Like,
describing the world.
yeah, yeah. Like I saw this guy at Walmart.
And he
Was
was
he wearing a
really,
shirt?
he was wacky.
He was wacky.
He was old, he
Yeah,
was fat, and he was weird. And then you come up with some kind of
exactly.
play on words like,
Yeah.
I think he wall farted. And everyone, and the people are like, but
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
once the boomers die off, like, I don't know if clean comedy's really gonna cut it. Unless you're like really, really, really good at it. It's like the
Yeah,
bell, like the meme where it's the bell graph, and like on the extremist sides that are the small
yeah,
percentage, it's like the Chad Wojaks, and then on the centrist side, that's the most of the population, it's like the retarded person.
yeah, yeah.
It's like in the middle, like clean comedy. I'm not gonna try to make this make sense. Never mind. Fuck you.
Okay.
Fuck you.
Oh,
Oh, should we talk about that? We
yeah,
have
sure.
we have these sound bites right now. I've got this ghetto ass rig going on with like weird donation softwares combining to form some gangbang of audio. But
Yeah.
I put in these sound bites that through the like 200 years of me saying I should have a podcast, I accumulated in my notes section different sound bites I thought I should have, and I curated them and loaded them all onto this. We can do a little tour of that if we want.
Yeah.
Let's do a tour. Let's do a tour.
All
Okay, so the
right.
first one I just use is
Fuck you.
which is um which is a gotchi soundbite from Van Darkholm. If you don't know what
Hmm.
gotchi is, look it up. That's a rabbit hole I really don't want to go down this episode. This is the clean episode, okay?
Yeah.
And
We'll
then we
go down that
have
one in the clean episode.
let's talk about that in one of the less clean episodes. Next episode, by the way, is gonna be all heroin. We're gonna go
Yeah,
complete 180, all
yeah.
heroin, full episode, hour-long discussion on heroin and why you should take it. But this
Mhm.
episode's clean. Okay, so
Yeah.
second one, what is
You
this?
are gay.
This was okay. This is rest in peace, Larry King. I actually found this. I wanted this. This was funny, and I had it in my notes section for the longest time, way before Larry King died, because he died like what a couple days ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I had this in my notes section for so long before he died, so I feel kind of bad that now I'm pulling it out now that he's dead. But I mean, it's so classic. I mean, like sometimes you gotta look someone dead in the eyes and be like,
You are gay.
and just let them know.
Yeah.
This comes from his an interview with Tyler Oakley, and I thought it
Oh,
was funny because there was an edit where where he just says that line and then the interview ends. He's like,
You are gay.
and then Tyler Oakley's like, "Thank you so much for having me," and it just ends. I couldn't find the edit, but I found the original interview, which is what matters. So I can pull this bite.
yeah.
Um, and then we have.
Horse shit!
Do you know what that's from?
Ah, I've heard it, but I
Think
don't know what
about
it's
it.
from.
Think about it. Do you want me to give you a hint? It's
Yeah.
from a movie. Does that help?
Yeah, I knew it was from a movie, but
Okay, I'll tell you. It's from The Hateful Eight. Ever seen that?
oh, yeah, yep.
Yes, this
I've
is
heard it.
John Woo's catchphrase, and ever since I've seen this movie like 20 times, I watched it alone on Netflix one day, and I loved it.
Yeah,
I think it's underrated. It's probably
yeah.
like it's most certainly in my top five Quentin Tarantino movies. It might be like number
Mhm.
four. I know this is like the dumb, oh, you're an action movie, fucking dumb beta cuck opinion, but like, this is the non elitist opinion. But Kill Bill 1 and 2 are probably my first two, and then
Mhm.
Pulp Fiction would be 3, and then Hateful Eight would be 4. And then I don't know what 5 is. I hated Once Upon a Time in Hollywood as a side note, but we can talk about that
Really?
later. Yeah, I hated it. I should rewatch it though before I start. I realize I should, if I want to be respected as a critic, I should really rewatch movies before I form a full opinion. Uh,
Mm,
Cause there's a difference between initial thoughts and then like I don't know stuff beyond that.
yeah.
I think at least two watches, probably closer to three, is where you form a real review. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's that one. That's John Ruth. And the next one is
Feel that bag
oh,
up.
it glitched out. This is kind of a double one. There's two of them.
Feel that bag up. Right now, nigga. Feel that bag up.
This is from an amazing video. Are you familiar with it?
I don't think so.
It's it's this midget robbing a convenience store or attempting to, and he's screaming, "Fill that bag up!" And he's throwing stuff around. He starts throwing chips over the counter. He rips this beer bottle from the refrigerator and chugs it, and then slams it on the ground. He like knocks over their little postcard display, and then it's so sad when the cops finally come to arrest him.
No.
Since he's so small, they don't even like tackle him. They just like lay him down gently. Like he's so little of a threat. And it's so funny because he doesn't have a gun. He doesn't have any weapons. He's just screaming at them to fill the bag up. He's just screaming
Feel that bag up.
and throwing chips and Oreos over the counter. And the people are just like the workers are just continuing with their day. Like they're just you can hear them like ringing up like the person who's actually in line. They're just ignoring him completely because he poses no threat. He's clearly on drugs, but it's funny.
Yeah.
So that is fill that bag up. I'll have to show you that one day.
Yeah.
And then next up is
Gotcha, bitch.
that one's just a classic. I don't that needs
Yeah.
no explanation.
Gotcha, bitch.
But I think it can be useful, so that's why we
Mhm.
have.
Gotcha, bitch.
And then next up is
Oh, he coming back, he coming back.
do you know what that's from?
I think so. I know I've heard that one before.
It's from the video where the kid is like shit talking the other kid, and then he gets on his bike and rides away, and then he
Oh,
starts
yeah.
riding it downhill, and this like little Mexican kid's like,
Oh, he coming back, he coming back.
and then he hops off the bike, and with the momentum of the bike, slaps the kid in the face, and then gets back on. It's such a badass fucking video. I love it so much.
Oh, he coming back, he coming back.
And then next up is
Is that a female girl?
that's from the famous Coomer audio, which I should send you as well. That's just funny, and I think it's practical when in the future we're making fun of like Weinstein types and weird like Reddit types.
Yeah.
We can use that one. And then we have
It don't go down.
that one's just a classic. I mean, you can never go wrong with that one. You know that one, right?
Yeah.
Robbie, it goes down.
It don't go down.
Go down.
It's just a universally loved video.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen that, then
You.
okay. Next up.
Nah, me neither.
Damn, it's
Good night, y'all.
glitching so much. It's because I have this
Nah,
ghetto
me
rig.
neither. Good night, y'all.
That's from a show I actually haven't seen, but I've seen that scene and I love it. It's Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Yeah.
And it's the scene. It's the part where Shake gets bit by a radioactive black man, and then and then the Fries guy's like, I don't expect any lingering effects, and Meatwad's like, nah, me neither. And then he turns out the lights, and he's like, turn back the lights on, and he turns the lights on, and Shake has just transformed into this like horrifically like Jim Crow racist like version of himself. His straw is like huge and dangling. He's got like giant lips and chains. So that's that
Yeah.
one.
Nah, me neither. Good night, y'all.
And I say it all the time in conversation, so I thought it would make sense. And
Yeah.
then there's That's from SpongeBob. Um, when they're backing up in the Flying Dutchman ship, and
Mm.
he's saying that. That's I think a good gauge of like how things are going right now.
Yeah.
Like that, like the ship is like the country, and the person saying you're good is like I don't know, just the average United States citizen. They're like,
Keep going. You're good. You're good. You're good.
that's them. That's them responding to like our lawmakers.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, conflicted thing. Oh, being weird. Oh, we're gonna send you home, but barely giving you any money. It's like, so someone made a good point. That's kind of like the true clash of like the true failure of like the two-party system is like both sides got what they want in the most horrible way. It's like they
Mm.
sent us home, they locked us up, but they also said you can't work, but we're not going to give you anything to compensate for that. So it's like the worst of both worlds essentially.
Yeah.
Cuz like the good part about not being quarantined is that you can work and make money, right?
Yeah.
Um but the bad part is that you're exposed to COVID. And then theoretically, if you
Mm.
went the other way, what if you're saying you can't work, you have to be compensated because otherwise, you die. How many
Yeah.
people died for non-virus reasons during COVID, I wonder? I doubt many people starved, but certainly people's lives are like ruined. Anyways, on
Mm.
that note, we have
Wow, fantastic, baby.
that one actually sounds better glitched out.
Yeah.
I don't even want to talk about where that one's from, but it's just such a good like response to things. It's like, oh, Log, you got back your COVID diagnosis. You're positive.
Wow, fantastic, baby.
You are actually, and you failed your community. Wouldn't that be funny if I intercepted the results from your COVID test? Like I had your doctor email them to me, and I live on the show announced that you had COVID.
Yeah.
That would be so fun. Have you ever been tested? Because I haven't yet.
No, I haven't either.
I hear the doctor has to jerk you off. I don't really know why.
Wait, really?
At least that's what happened. Yeah, my uncle was like, I went in there and he jerked me off. I don't really understand why. And my parents were like, I don't think that's normal. And he's like, that's just the procedure. You go in there, he jerks you off, and then he tells you if you have COVID or not.
That's sick.
So yeah, I might get a test.
Yeah.
Um,
I'll put that in the
maybe
calendar.
when the virus is gone, like that will ever happen. Um, we can have an IRL studio and our audio will sound actually good.
Yeah.
And the sound bites won't cut out with this ghetto rig. Okay,
Yeah.
next one.
Yes, you did.
What's that one from? You know that one.
Pulp Fiction.
Okay, good job. Two Tarantino ones. I'm gonna seem like a snob, but I like both those sounds. I'm not a
No, you're
snob.
good.
Let's think of a bad movie that I liked. I liked Well, this is relevant. I kind of liked the new Godzilla film. I didn't think it was
Oh,
great,
really?
but I thought it had enough of a backbone of a plot to be like a. I need to rewatch it though, because I have a feeling I'm gonna rewatch it and be like, that kind of sucked. Why did I like that? But you know
I
what
do
I?
know, like, there was a fair amount of people who liked that movie.
Yeah, I kind of liked it. I remember, but I didn't like Kong Skull Island. I thought that movie was garbage. It's like
Yeah, it
it's
was.
there's no like real even giant monsters fight. There's no cool fight even. It's like
Yeah.
watch John Goodman run around with like weird little CGI poison lizards, and it's really goofy. And then his character dies for no reason. It's really stupid. Spoiler alert. Who cares? And
Yeah.
then that's it, kind of. I watched actually last night. I watched the second Godzilla, the King of Monsters. I did not like that one. I thought
Oh,
it. Did
really?
you see it?
I haven't seen that one.
I thought it was like a worse version of the first one,
Oh.
basically. And also the
Yeah.
fights are not really that good. It's kind of short. which is weird because the movie's 2 hours and 11 minutes. It's like,
Yeah.
why is there not more giant monsters fighting? Isn't that why we're here? But what they did a really
Yeah.
good job of is padding out, at least in the beginning, like finding ways to include the giant monsters so that it's not like an hour and a half of guys sitting around talking around computers, because no one wants to see that. Because like that
Yeah.
would be really annoying if it was like an hour and that might be the first movie now that I think, but like an hour and a half of people of guys talking around computers, talking about exposition and shit, and then a fight at the end is kind of a shitty formula. So it's good that they didn't do that, but you know what? Since you haven't seen, we'll talk about that once you saw it. The reason I hadn't
Mhm.
seen it is because I missed it in theaters, and I was like, I don't want to watch this not in theaters. This is kind of a theater type movie. But then
Yeah.
last night I was bored. I saw it was on Prime, and I've been talking with my friend about going back and watching the old ones because I haven't seen. How dare I call myself like a real film person? I haven't even seen like the OG Godzillas or any. I haven't seen any King Kong movie except for Skull Island, which was garbage. All right, guys, we're gonna take a quick break to thank our sponsors. Our first sponsor today is Therapy Scam. Therapy Scam is an app that is not a scam and is totally completely safe for you to divulge your deepest and darkest secrets. Therapy Scam hires the best therapists from around the world. They have an intense process of vetting that you won't be informed about, but just know that it's there and it's intense and it's real. Therapy is so important in today's world with the stressors of people just now finding out bad things happen in our world and all the trauma inflicted upon the youth that will cause even more trauma to be inflicted on the next generation of youth. So, therapy is important. I mean, I'm in therapy, Log's in therapy. Um, you're in therapy, right? You're like a serial
Yeah.
killer or something. You need this.
Yeah.
Um,
Pretty bad.
so therapy is important. We use this app. It's a good app. They have helpful hints. They have a helpful hints tab on the app with guided meditations and mindfulness videos. That's always fun. It can be downloaded for free from the App Store, but the service itself is just $5 a month for unlimited appointments and messages. Is that a steal or what?
That's
So
a steal.
So Therapy Scam also has an exclusive offer for our listeners. If you use code LOG, you get your first month free. That's code LOG, LOG, for your first month of Therapy Scam free. Thank you. Our next sponsor this week is Shit Crate. Shit Crate is a weekly box of random shit you don't need. They've got geeky toys, plushies, everyone's favorite pop figures, figurines that will never be worth anything, stuff like that. So in every box every week there's at least one poorly made T-shirt. Usually it has like a goofy little crossover between like an anime and a movie, and it's fun because you like that sort of stuff. You're a degenerate. You live off of pop culture. It's all that fuels your uh, worthless existence. Right, Log? I'm talking to you.
It is. It is.
You
Trust
need
me.
that shirt that shows the TARDIS crashing into the DeLorean, right? I actually
Oh,
I
yes.
actually own that shirt. You need that shirt that shows Batman and Goku shaking hands or something, all right? You need some kind of little quippy catchphrase that says like Batman Ball Z or something. You need that, or else what are you doing, really? If you don't have shit crate,
Fuck you.
is what I'm trying to say. So, Shit Crate has a 100% guarantee that all your crate items will be in the trash by the end of the year or your money back. 100% guarantee. These people are giving your money back if your plastic little toys are not in the garbage by the end of the year. And Shit Crate, here's the best part, it starts at the low price of just 4 payments of $45. That's nothing. That's nothing. They didn't give us a code, but essentially, I'm trying to say buy Shit Crate today. Um, Back to the show.
Yeah.
So, did you see
Yeah.
like the early 2000s Kong? Because I didn't even see that.
I've seen parts of it, but I haven't watched the like whole thing through.
I feel like I've seen parts of it as well. The thing is, though, it's
Yeah.
like, do I really want to see it? It's another one of those like sad because big monkey. It's like a Harambe film. It's like, uh, am I really that interested in it? Oh, and then humans are the real monsters. They push that angle so much in the second Godzilla. It was so fucking obnoxious. It was like, humans are the real
Yeah.
monsters. So much so that you can have that as an underlying theme, although it's really overdone. But they had this scene in it where it was one of the characters. It was so poorly, like she wasn't even a terrible actress for the rest of the film, but in this specific part, she's reading this like big speech, like she's turned into a villain. She's like, "Can't you see? Us humans are the infection. We're the disease. Look what we did to the planet. War, pollution." It's like, yes, I've seen this in like Pixar movies. Grow up.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then like 15 minutes later, there's a scene where Millie Bobby Brown's choking back tears and she looks at her and she goes, "You're a monster." And slams the door into her weird little room. And it's like, it's like I hate when people say things instead of showing things. It goes back to like Jared Leto Joker when he's like, "I'm an idea." And, you know,
Yeah.
and Heath Ledger Joker was an idea, but he showed you instead of telling you. So it's like,
Yeah.
but now I'm just quoting Ralph the Movie Maker videos. So anyways, that's that one. What do we leave off on?
Drugs.
Oh, wrong one.
You I did wrong.
Oh, you did. Yes, you did. I say that all the time too. That's why I clipped it, because I say, "Why'd you try to fuck him like a bitch, Brett?" I didn't. Yes, you did. And it's good for when I'm arguing with Log about whatever the hell, about how racist he is or whatever, and he's like, I didn't say the N-word, and I'm like,
Yes, you did.
And then we have,
You I did wrong.
you know what that's from, right?
You I did
Um,
wrong.
I
It's from the clip where he's
think
like,
so.
"You think you can graduate this school without
Oh.
kissing my cock?"
Yeah.
You I did wrong.
Yeah.
This is another good, like, argument one.
You I did wrong.
Okay, I think we have a couple more to go. Oh, is that it? Oh, that was the last one. No, that was the last one.
You I did wrong.
I was like, I think we have a couple more to go.
You I did wrong.
I was wrong. So anyways, that's just a soft open to them. We'll see where that goes. Keep some of them, get rid of some of them, whatever. When we have an IRL studio, we might have like real buttons like Jim Cramer on Mad Money. I don't know. We'll see where that goes. That's where it stands for now. And if you have any complaints, direct them to our complaint department. It's headed by Van Darkholm. You have anything to say, Van?
Fuck you. Fill that bag up.
Okay. That's our complaint bag. You can put all your complaints there. So just make sure to
Fill that bag up.
put your complaints in the bag.
Yeah, yeah.
We should have a little physical complaint department box. Give out the address to our studio. Oh, I forgot you need money for a studio. Never mind. Put it in the comment section. Email it. Whatever.
Yeah.
You know what you should do? You should type out. You should spend 20 minutes of your life instead of working and making money or, having sex with someone. You should go in the YouTube comment section and you should type out a hate rant about a podcast. That's what you should do.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But anyways, those are the things. Do you want to talk about? Do you want to talk about GameStop?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think GameStop is a great stock to invest in. Do you know why?
Why?
Because it's viable in today's economy. Honestly, in all honesty, I think this is hilarious. What's going on?
It is.
And I think it's funny that Wall Street is being such crying babies about it. They're like, take that subreddit down now! They're ruining the market. They're making something that is already fake. Fake. They're fudging the numbers. That's what the game is about, you moron. None of this is real. Like what? Like these people are like the economy is. I mean, the market is very well. No, you listen to these numbers that a company tells you, and then you just believe it, and then you set a price. The market is not based on reality. You know how many times like. I mean, look at the fucking housing crash. These bonds that are worth nothing are holding up the economy for no reason. The housing crash is not about bonds suddenly not being worth anything. It's about people realizing they're not worth anything. So it's like, oh, boo hoo. GameStop isn't actually worth that much. Neither is probably a lot of the companies. Like, so much of like stock prices like depend on these figures that like who comes up with these figures? The company that the stock is for? What? What are they going to tell you? We're
Yeah.
doing what are they going to say? Our price should be lower. We're doing bad. It's like there's always been a level of um of bullshit with the stock market. This if you want to be an investor, and don't listen to me because I'm not a financial advisor and I shouldn't be, and I'm not smart. Don't listen to me. Well, I'm smarter than a lot of you, but I'm not very smart. Don't listen to me, but if you want to invest in the stock market, don't go in there thinking I got to invest in the companies that are doing good, blah blah blah. You got to think more so I got to invest in the companies that people think are doing good. Because that's what it
Yeah.
is. It's just about like it's not real. It's like it's a fun little game sorta. Sure people's lives depend on it and their wages and stuff, but like it's less of a real thing than it is like a it's like a guessing game. It's like roulette.
Yeah.
It's not about it's not what's real. Is it? Not really. It's kind of fake. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just it's just funny that they're bitching that like it's this is these psychopaths, these kids, you kids and your weird little. I think this is kind of the future. To me, this is kind of taking the market back. Like these fucking assholes, a lot of them on Wall Street or whatever, kind of like ruin the concept of capitalism by being like, so we're gonna lie. Have you idiots ever heard of fraud? For Christ's sake. Do you not know that that's a thing? Like,
Yeah.
because these assholes are like, they have their weird little corporatist thing. They're like, okay, so we got our fraud, we got that covered. We got lying, so that it makes it seem like we're doing well, so that people believe we're doing well, and then they will pay more for our stock price. We've got lobbying, that's down pat, so we can never be in trouble with the law. We're set. Like, and now those people are looking at a bunch of Reddit trollers and saying, you're immoral. You're immoral. They say you're immoral when they're literally, this is what they're doing. They're on their smartphones tweeting that a bunch of kids are immoral while their cock is in like the ass of a 6-year-old child. That's what they're doing.
Yeah.
You know what that we
Yeah.
also mentioned pedophilia on the past 2 episodes. Maybe we should get away from that. But I mean, you know what? Fuck it. Their heroin is being injected into their veins. They're banging a kid,
Yeah.
and they're telling you that you Redditors are immoral. Now, I hate
That's
Reddit as
true.
much as the next guy, but like, this is for me like, taking back the free market is supposed to be actually free. I know that's a crazy concept to some of these fucking retarded ass boomers, but like, the whole purpose of the free market is so people can vote with their dollar and stuff like that. But corporatist douchebags are like, no, it's about having these weird little funny financial terms and trading this and shorting that and doing a crazy weird strategy and studying the graph and the chart this and the box that and the diagram and the being dumb and gay and silly and making sure that it's so complicated so that the common man can't understand it and making you think that you have to be this smart, crazy Wall Street, New York guy to do anything about the fucking stock market. Like, that's what these people are all about.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like, they want to have like weird complex language associated with the stock market so that it's less open to the public and they can, control it. It's about, and it's such, you hear these analysts talk about like, well, maybe the stock was overvalued or undervalued. Who the fuck is doing this valuing? Because clearly they don't know what they're talking about. And then one subreddit throws a monkey wrench in the system, and it's like the scene in SpongeBob where all his little brain workers, like the filing cabinets, are on fire and they're freaking out. Like
Yeah,
these
it's
Wall Street
exactly
people,
like
it's
that.
like, oh, are a couple of you gonna kill yourself? Like, is that not what you already do all the time?
Yeah.
I mean, it's eggs in an omelet. I mean, what do you make of this? Do you think this is a good thing? Do you think it's a bad thing? What do you think?
I think it's pretty funny.
Oh, it's funny,
I
no matter how you
I kind
slice
of
it.
like, yeah, I like how it's happening. It's pretty funny to see how this is just getting like chaotic to those people.
They're like, they're like, how dare you make the stock market into a gambling ring?
Oh,
What?
I can't believe you.
Ugh, the
Like,
stock
who
market.
cares?
It's so real. It's such
Yeah.
a real thing. It's fake. It's silly numbers. It's like,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to sound like a weird conspiracy theorist, but like it is fake. Like, grow up. Like, let's be real. It's
It's
pretty
funny
fake.
money.
It's funny money. That's what
Yeah.
these like brokers, their little shows should be called. Not Mad Money with Jim Cramer. Funny Money with Crim
Yeah.
Jamer. It's just silly. Like, let's just grow up a little and realize maybe we shouldn't have put that much faith in it.
Yeah.
Like, it's just weird. That's I remember when I was a kid, I asked my dad. Well, first of all, how I found out what stocks were was from playing the Game of Life board game, and
Yeah.
I picked up a card and it was like stock, and I was like, what? And my dad was like, stock is when you do an investment, you buy part of a company. And I was like, why would part of a company let me buy it? He's like, oh, business talk. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then later on, I asked, uh, my dad's not super into stocks. He's like kind of into it at like a base boomer level where you want to invest to make money and stuff. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Somehow the topic of like an earnings report came up, and I was like, what is that? And he's like, you they report how much money they're making, and yeah, that's kind of what determines the value of the stock. And I'm like, wait, so all of this? I remember being really freaked out. I was like, all of this rides on those numbers? What if they're not real? And he's like, that's what happens all the time. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, sometimes the numbers aren't real and the stock was overvalued. I'm like, okay, so if it was overvalued, do people get refunds who paid too much for it? It's like, I'm not saying that the stock market should be totally changed structurally and people should go around issuing refunds if you realize that a company lied. Well, maybe. Wouldn't that be fun? But I don't know. I feel like this whole Reddit debacle could lead into, I don't know, if people could just kind of realize the market isn't that serious. Like, you should like, it would be more real if more people participated in it, but that's not gonna fucking happen with all these fucking millennials who only they put their investment money in house plants or something. That's what they fucking invest in. There's a little
Yeah.
They invest in fucking gardens, which you should. I think you should have a garden, but like maybe, call me crazy, but you take just for one day, you don't smoke weed, and you put that money into a fun little game called the stock market. It's fun. It's like getting a lotto ticket, you know? It's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
for some people, it really is. For these day traders who get like all into it,
Yeah.
there's so many different like
Exactly.
communities in the stock market. It's kind of funny. Um,
Mhm.
but to an extent, these Reddit people who organized. Also, it wasn't just them because there's this whole thing about like a billionaire who was investing in it and bought like 13% of all the stocks, and people are saying he was gonna, with his cronies, take it in a direction where it's online retail, which is what video games are now. With GameStop, I
Mm.
mean. But these people who organize this are also kind of part of that elitist like mentality because they like shit post these memes where it's like, you, the common man doesn't understand it. It's like, didn't you just lose $10 million in 48 hours or something? It's like, sorry I didn't get your shit post.
Yeah.
Um, so it's almost like they have a similar philosophy to the weird professional boomer who's like, listen, you gotta buy high, sell low. It's simple. I love saying that. I love saying
Yeah.
that to a degree where it worries people, where they think that I'm serious, and then I actually think that you should buy high, sell low on stuff. Like I remember I said it in front of my mom once. I was like, "Listen, mom, this is what the guys on Wall Street don't want you to know. You buy high and you sell low." And she's like, "No, sweetie, it's buy low and sell high. That's how you make the money. Is that you're making more money once it's worth more." And I was like, "Really, you
Oh.
fucking dumb bitch." I looked my mom in the eyes and I said that. I said, "Really,
Yeah.
you fucking dumb bitch." She said, "Don't talk to me like that." She started crying and then I kicked her in the shin. No. What actually happened
Oh.
was I said in that sigh voice that you start to use with your parents when you realize that they're kind of retarded. You know what I'm talking about? Where you're like,
Yeah.
I go like, Mom, I was obviously joking. Like, I don't think, like, it's like, the way you realize they're retarded is that you realize they think you're retarded. It's like,
Yeah.
you think I'm that dumb that I thought that you buy things for an expensive price and then sell them for a cheap price? You think that I think that's how you make money? That's like you thinking that I think that 2 plus 2 is 48. Like, it's just such simple logic that you think I don't have an understanding that you don't buy stocks high and then sell them low.
Yeah.
But sometimes, to be hypocritical about it, sometimes I get in the mentality of buy high, sell low that I start to try to justify it in my mind. I'm like, what if it did work? I was like, I'm thinking like, what
Oh
if I
my
somehow
god.
tricked the market? If I was so rich, I took a bunch of stocks and I bought them high and sold them low. I could bend the market to my will. I could confuse people. But then Reddit's like, yeah, we're already on that. We're doing something weird with GameStop. So
Yeah.
I thought about joining like, well, I guess it's gone now, but I thought about joining Market Bets or whatever it was called, and like
Yeah. Wall Street bets.
Wall Street Bets, yeah, and going on there and talking about like just safely investing rather than trading. And just
Mm,
seeing their
yeah.
response, like going in there and be like, I think I'm just gonna put a good amount of money in a stock that I think will do well in the far future and let it sit. And they're like, no, you don't understand. You're not based. You're not based. You need to put $10 billion into this one stock and then do a crazy weird strategy and then lose all your money. That's what's based. You're cringe. You can't be an
True.
investor. And I'm sitting there like the Gatsby Pepe holding up like a champagne glass, like when you invest.
Yeah.
But I mean, I respect those guys. I mean,
Mm.
a lot of them are probably pretty dumb, but we don't have enough dumb people. There's too
That's
many. Like, we
true.
need more people who are dumb and who are like in trade school learning to weld. You know, there's too
Yeah.
many like sophisticates. Is that a word? There's too many people who think they're like sophisticated and like they think they're artists. We need more.
Yeah.
This is a rant for another episode. But it's true, we need more trade schoolers. We need less artists, more trade schoolers. There's just not a
Mm.
high enough demand for that much art. So you're saying capitalism and the market should decide what I do with my life? No. If you want to eat, yeah. If you don't want to eat, that's fine. If you have no interest in eating, then by all means, paint your little fucking dumbass picture that's about depression.
Yeah.
That's super Oh, you're depressed? How about you join the club of the rest of the world? We live in hell, you dumb bitch. Stop making art about being depressed. Everyone's depressed. That's why we're all on
Exactly.
pills. That's why Big Pharma is gonna rape us in 5 years. Like,
Yeah.
draw something about being happy. That's what's weird now. That's what's interesting. Like, it's
Mm.
boring to have Billie Eilish music. What would be
Mhm.
interesting is if Wham came back and released an album. That would be high
That
art.
would be crazy.
Like
Yeah.
like seriously. Right now what's weird is like sunshine aesthetics. What's normal is like Hello Kitty cutting herself. Like that's considered normal core is what we should call it.
Yeah.
But people, I mean, obviously people think that they're quirky for having that kind of like, oh, you dyed your hair two different colors? Wow. You're a hipster if you have like straight brunette hair and you let it be naturally like that. And then
Yeah.
I'm gonna you know what, I'm gonna become like a Baptist just to be a hipster. Just to be
That would be sick.
counterculture. I'm just gonna become a devout like Baptist or some other
Yeah.
like boring Protestant sect of Christianity. Like just because just because I have this unhealthy obsession with being interesting, I'm gonna cling on to like what little like everything is like I lose more interesting qualities as things become normalized.
Yeah.
Well, not exactly. You know, I was gonna start talking about World of Warcraft, but I haven't been playing as much recently.
Oh.
I thought it would have been a fun way to end the episode, but the same thing that always happens is I spend my entire like over a month playing WoW. It's usually like a month plus trying to convince my
Yeah.
friends to play because I know I'd play consistently and have fun if I had a group of like 5 guys that were just like or a full raid group of like my good already established IRL friends. But I don't want to make friends on WoW, so I end up just spending my time begging other friends and then grinding out so I can like have good gear to like show off when they start to play, but then they don't start to play, so I get bored of the game and then I stop. So I'm back in that
Mhm.
cycle again here with Shadowlands. Probably maybe gonna play next patch, but I'm gonna have to go into gold debt again with Caleb. It's another fun thing. Isn't gold debt gonna be like worth more than the US dollar? I mean, not gold. Sorry,
Probably.
WoW gold. It's gonna be worth more than the U.S. dollar in like 20 years, probably. Like,
Yeah.
isn't the Fed like printing money or something?
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think they're pulling a Venezuela. That's one
Ah,
of my
yeah, yeah.
favorite things. Is when I think it's funny when money becomes worth nothing, and you see
Yeah.
those pictures of people. Oh, Coach DeVos once told me he was like, I was in Nicaragua and there was a guy holding stacks of hundreds of their money and he was selling it for like $5 US. And that's just silly to me. The idea of this. When people realize it's paper, I mean, that's what's happening with the stock market. It's the same damn thing. It's like, wait a
Mhm.
second. Wait, this isn't worth anything. And then everyone else realizes, and that's when you have trouble. So maybe
Yeah.
it's good that we have a little mask of, against reality. Maybe it's good that it's that a lot of people think like, oh, I just got my stock, it's worth something. Got my pieces of paper, they're worth something. And then the weird little, puppet masters are behind the doors going, hee hee, don't tell him. Nobody tell him that it's not worth anything. Nobody reveal the secret. Nobody reveal the secret. No one knows that this is all fake. They'll never know. Hee 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 hee. They go to their little socialite eating baby parties. Did you
Yes.
hear that a Redditor uh, snipped a curtain that makes up the larger whole. That's what they did. The curtains are in front of you, right? They're showing you a weird little show. Behind the curtains is what's really happening, and a fucking subreddit went up to the curtains and he snipped off a corner, and that was so scary to them that they
Yeah.
took the subreddit, destroyed it for snipping off a curtain. Like a piece of a curtain, a corner of a curtain. They destroy this subreddit. If this subreddit was a human, they crucified him for snipping off a corner. So now people are scared again. They're like, "Oh, better stay away from those guys. We don't want to know what's happening behind the curtains. Please, please, big gov and big corp pharma and big corporations or whatever. Please rape us. Don't crucify us like you did to the subreddit." And the cycle continues. Or I'm overreacting. Who fucking cares? Whatever. I would end this by saying play WoW, but like I'm not really playing, so if someone out there wants to play and it's funny and interesting and we can be real friends and we get like a nice group of people who actually want to play, then I'll play. If not, then I'll just sit at my 5 monitor setup and fucking day trade all day. I'll day
Yeah.
trade my money away like the fucking gambling addict I am.
Yeah.
And that's where things stand. What about you?
Pretty
Closing
much.
statements?
Um,
Dude, do you want to
I
become
mean,
day traders? Let's do this just for the meme.
probably. I was thinking about just investing in the
Dude,
GameStop
I bought
thing
AMC.
yesterday.
I bought AMC just
Oh,
for
you
the
did?
fuck of it. Yeah,
That's
just a
awesome.
little. I mean, like,
Yeah.
I would be fine if I lost every penny of what I invested in AMC. It's literally
Yeah.
just for the joke.
Pretty much. Yeah.
It's fun. It's fun to participate in it.
Yeah. I came so close to buying some yesterday, but I literally just ran out of money.
Really,
Yeah, I ran
dude.
out of money because I went to Olive Garden. So, like, I spent my
What
last like 20
what were
bucks
you
there.
buying there?
Some like cheese pasta. I don't know. I didn't
Some
even like Olive
cheese
Garden.
pasta made you go bankrupt?
Yeah.
Dude, fucking Wall Street bets people are gonna have a shit fit on you. They are like, you could have taken that $20 and done the Peebo penis strategy and made it $600 million, you idiot. That's what they're gonna say.
Probably.
Dude, let's get involved in this community in the next episode. Like, have a report back our findings. Like, we come back and we're like
Yeah.
talking in this dumbass fake language of like, so if you short the Peebus market and then you use an option and then you do a short buy and a market buy and blah blah blah. Like let's become those assholes just for
Yeah.
fun. I kind of
We
want to
just
like
show up in like some studio in some like exotic foreign country
right.
because we just have so much
The
money.
people with the this you can quote me on this. This is going to be a really fascinating and well thought out quote. The people with the diamonds and the furs and the limos and the expensive shit have nothing. They have no money. Those people are impoverished. They're just pretending like they're rich. They're pretending like they're rich by owning stocks in companies that are pretending to be wealthy. I don't mean that in a deep sense like they have nothing. They are actually sad at their home lives and they're spending all their money on. No, I mean literally they have no money. All their money is given to like a horde of goblins, and those goblins make up little fake numbers to tell them what their money's worth. Those people have zero money at all. Like,
Mm-hmm.
they have, you know what they have? They have pixels on a screen. They're pixel rich. Okay?
That's true.
People who you think are rich are actually homeless.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that fun that we live in a country where it's like everyone's homeless? The only people who aren't
Yeah.
homeless are the middle class. And they want to get rid of it. They want to get rid of it. Just like in that's
'em.
I mean, they want to get rid of the middle class. Like that's what happens in all these insane like countries with wealth disparities, like like India and China and lots of places in the Middle East. Is they
Yeah.
get rid of the middle class, and then it's only homeless people. That's it,
Yeah.
dude. That's where
Homeless
we're headed.
people,
Like
and then like the few elites, and that's about it.
exactly. But even the
Yeah.
elites, by my logic, even the elites are Well, I guess
Yeah.
in that setup, they do actually have money because there's so few of them.
Mm.
But yeah, that's the goal of the elites. They wanna not be homeless. They want to take the money back from the middle class. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
Jeff Bezos is poor. He's poor. He has no money.
Yeah.
Actually, he's a real rich person because he owns a company that's like undeniably successful. He might not
Yeah.
be as rich as he seems, but he's definitely wealthy. But a lot of these people who are like, I'm an investor. That's how I got so rich. It's all fake money. I mean, the reason they seem rich is because stores think it's real. You know what I'm saying? Like the
Yeah.
diamond store thinks it's real money. They're like, oh, this is real, so they accept it. But they're actually poor. They're actually homeless. It's all a ruse. It's all fake. You know. What's new? Like,
Yeah.
what's new? What's even new to report on with this GameStop thing? Oh, everything's fake. Oh, okay. I
Oh
already knew
yeah.
that. I was already aware. Like, what even? Like, that's what the world has come to. It's like, oh, everything's fake.
Literally.
Oh, I already. Oh, sorry. I knew that already. What's the difference? Why are you telling me this? Oh, the market's fake.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, I knew that. Bye. It's like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, it's the normal, pretty much now.
Pretty much. Anyways, the world is flat. Good night.
True.